You've probably felt this before. You've done everything right, built the career, earned the income, gained the experience, but something still feels off. Because the common belief is, if you're successful, you should stay where you are. But what if that's wrong? What if the feeling you can't shake is actually a signal that you're ready for something bigger? We've worked with hundreds of professionals who've made that leap, from corporate careers into business ownership, and found something they didn't expect: control, purpose, and real ownership. In this video, we're breaking down the 5 signs you're ready for your second act, and how franchise ownership can turn that feeling into something real. Sign number 1, you've mastered your role, but feel unfulfilled. You're no longer learning, you're executing, and that's the problem, because growth is what keeps work engaging. Once that disappears, fulfillment usually follows. A lot of professionals hit this point quietly. They don't hate their job, they're just done growing in it. And that plateau creates a deeper question: what's next? Franchise ownership introduces a new challenge, but with structure. You're not starting from zero, you're stepping into a proven system with room to grow. And when that system starts working, something shifts.
Once you follow the model and you start achieving some success, it validates what you were thinking before.
That validation matters because it replaces uncertainty with momentum. According to a 2024 Gallup report, only 33% of employees feel engaged at work, meaning the majority are emotionally disconnected or plateaued. That's not a motivation problem, it's a growth problem. But even if you're fulfilled, you start noticing something else. Sign number 2, you want equity, not just income. At some point, the math stops making sense. You work harder, but your income stays tied to your time. That's when people start thinking differently, not just about earning, but about owning, because income pays today. Equity builds tomorrow. Franchise ownership shifts that equation. You're building a business you can sell, a system that scales, and an asset that grows. But let's be clear, this isn't passive, and it shouldn't be.
A franchise does not guarantee anything. It does not give you success. It is like any other business. You have to work hard.
That honesty matters because the goal isn't less effort, it's better outcomes from that effort. The International Franchise Association reported in 2025 that franchise businesses are expected to grow to over 851,000 units in the US, reflecting continued demand for ownership-based models. Additionally, a 2023 Guidant Financial report found over 65% of small business owners cited building wealth as their primary motivation for ownership. Now here's the catch. You can build equity, but if you don't control your time, it still won't feel like freedom. Sign number 3, you crave flexibility, not less responsibility, better control. Because flexibility isn't about working less, it's about deciding what matters. Corporate roles often dictate your schedule. Ownership flips that.
I feel better because I'm able to control my own time and my future.
That's a fundamental shift. Control over time becomes control over life. And for many owners, that flexibility becomes real in very personal ways.
My son's playing college baseball up in the Northeast here, and there's not a game. His home games are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half away, all depending on traffic. And then his other games are two hours away, 3 hours away. And I've been able to make almost every single game. And that's very, very important to me.
That's the difference. You're not asking permission anymore. You're designing your life. A 2023 McKinsey study found 87% of professionals prioritize flexibility when evaluating work opportunities. That demand isn't going away. It's becoming the standard. But flexibility alone isn't enough, because eventually, you start thinking about how you lead. Sign number 4, you want to lead differently. Corporate leadership often means managing tasks, tracking performance, and reporting results. But ownership changes that. Now your success depends on people, your team, your culture, your leadership. And that requires a different mindset.
My role is simple. My role is just to find the best or the strengths and the strongest abilities of individuals I want to influence their strengths and get their strengths out of them so that we can move this whole business here.
That's not management, that's leadership. And franchise systems support that shift with hiring frameworks, training systems, and operational guidance. So you're not guessing your way through leadership, you're building it intentionally. And finally, this is the one that usually drives the decision. Sign number 5, you want work that actually feels meaningful. At some point, success without meaning feels empty. You want your work to matter. You want to see impact. You want to know what you're building actually helps people. That's why so many second act owners move into service-based businesses. Because the feedback is immediate. You don't have to wonder if it matters. You see it.
Doesn't feel like I'm having to sell something because it's truly a need and a gap that I saw in our community.
When you have a personal interest in and a personal concern from your history in life about why you care about something, it adds a whole new dimension to the work.
That's what makes the second act different. You're not just building income, you're building impact. The U.S. Census Bureau projects that all baby boomers will be over 65 by 2030, driving massive demand in senior care services. The U.S. home healthcare market is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 7.7%. This isn't a trend, it's a long-term shift. So let's bring it all together. If you're feeling unfulfilled despite success, tired of trading time for money, ready for more control, wanting to lead in a different way, and searching for meaningful work, you're not stuck, you're ready. Ready for your second act. And the best part? You don't have to figure it out alone. With the right franchise system, you get proven processes, ongoing support, and a community of people building the same future. So if this feels like where you are right now, the next step is simple. Schedule time with us. Have a real conversation about what your second act could look like and whether this path is right for you. Because the hardest part isn't building the business. It's deciding you're ready to start.